Hello! Today I'd like to share an idea of a gift for Women's Day. We've got plenty of ideas for this holiday on our website, and we try our best to present new ones every year. Today I'm not going to show you how to create a flower, we've already got such a video, but how to make an 8th of March style vase. You can put natural flowers into a vase like this. In some vases there are bottles inside, so you can fill them with water and put natural flowers into. For presentation of this idea, I've used the flowers I wove earlier. Start with a flat woven strip. We've got quite an old masterclass on weaving a flat strip. Recently I've improved the technique, so let me show you the new approach. First, now I'm using the tubes of a different quality. They are painted with a mixture of colorant, wood protect soak and water. The proportions are experimental. I will share the recipe in the comments. The tubes were rolled of 7 cm wide, which is about 2.5 inches strips, on a knitting needle number 1.2 or 1.5. The tubes are rather old. I found them on purpose because they are less dense than the ones I've been rolling lately. They are optimal for weaving flat strips. So I take 6 tubes, tie them together with an elastic, and start weaving in my favorite way. From the right side onto one tube, under the rest, from the left side under one, onto the rest. Onto one, under the rest, under one, onto the rest of tubes. The pattern will become visible very soon. Onto one, under the rest, under one, onto the rest. Here you can see the pattern already. As for the top, I will turn the item over, take the elastic off and smoothen the top later. So continue weaving this way up to the point of lengthening. Let me show you my new approach to lengthening the flat strip. In the previous items I used to lengthen the tubes in a regular way, by inserting one tube into another, hiding the joint from the back, and still it was a weak point. Lately I've decided to try lengthening like in straw weaving. You know, I like this technique and find it more suitable. So, I don't weave the tube up to the very end. There is still a rather long tail left. So, I join the next tube, involve it into work and continue weaving. Well, this tube is probably also ready for lengthening. To provide sufficient adhesion of tubes to prevent weak point at the turns. I will also show you the way it looks from the back side. Continue lengthening. Well, actually it would be better lengthening not every tube, but at some intervals. But anyway. Take a look, please. I've reached the lengthened tube, hug it, now when it's time to engage it into work, I'm bending the remaining tail aside, it will be easier cutting it in this case, and continue weaving with a new tube. Be very careful, it is crucial not to confuse the tubes. The lengthened tubes are doubled so far. Let's lengthen the last tube from this side. So, take a look, please. I take the tail aside and lead the long tube under one, in this case a pair of tubes, onto the rest. Continue. Repeat the steps. Take the short tube aside and continue weaving with the long one. Take the short tube aside and lead the long tube under the first tube onto the rest of tubes. One, two, onto one, under the rest, onto one, under the rest, and the last one from this side. Bend the tail aside, smoothen the strip, and continue weaving with no obstacles. As a result, I've got such a picture. If you calculate, you can distribute every other tube to lengthen. This way you will avoid much thickening and make the process more convenient. Anyway, it doesn't interfere much. Continue weaving up to the required length. The length required depends on your vase size. The zest of this idea is that you can put this 8 over any vase. In this case, I have taken an old vase woven long ago and decorated it with an 8. I haven't fastened it so far, so after the holiday one can use it without the 8. As an option, you can make a vase like this. I've taken a normal bottle, decorated it with twigs, wrapped it with a twine string, which has made quite a practical vase. You can put natural flowers into it. Since we've started discussing vases, let me tell you a few words on some other types. As for this one, for example, I've woven it around a baby food bottle. I've just made the bottle a bit wider and used skewers to weave it up to the bottle top. I'd like to share my failure too. I dislike the way the bottle top is seen from the above, so I'm not going to use this option. After this experiment, I've been weaving vases high enough to cover the whole bottle. You can either fasten an aid to the vase or leave it unfastened and use it without the aid later. You can temporarily stick it to the vase with the help of bioadhesive tape, for example. It's up to your imagination. In this case, I fastened the aid permanently with the help of universal polymeric adhesive. For weaving these vases, I've used such a plastic wine glass as a base. I'm not going to show you the whole process of vase weaving. There is nothing difficult about it. Let me just show you the way I do. I've outlined the glass, pieced the holes, inserted the tubes and have been weaving up to this level. After which I've laid the poles apart and entwined them to make a support. Anyway, this is not an object of today's video. The idea was to show you that these 8 can be put onto any kind of a vase to symbolize the 8th of March. So I've woven the strip up to the tube ends. I've lengthened the tubes 2 times when weaving. Before getting rid of the tails, I'd like to show you the way I trim the beginning to make the whole strip look neat. So lead the tube under one onto the rest. Follow the pattern. Well, it's better to unweave a bit and continue according to the pattern. Onto one, under one, onto the rest. This way I'm weaving up to the tube ends to make the most of the tube's length. The tubes are rather dry already and less convenient to work with than the ones just taken out of a plastic bag. Well, I believe it's enough. The dry tubes have gotten a bit cracked. Anyway, I've got some painting solution left to paint the cracks. Now I'll show you the way I cut off the remaining tails carefully. You can cut them with the help of scissors. I prefer working with such nippers. Cut the tails at the trunk. This way, very carefully pulling the tails tight. After this, I'm going to paint the stumps with the same mixture I painted the tubes with. Cut the tails from the front side. And from the back side too. I bent them specially to be able to cut the tails carefully now. Here, during my second lengthening, I've tried my best to lengthen every other tube, not every tube. Continue cutting all the tails sticking out. As a result, I've got such a smooth strip. I will cover the strip with a second layer of my painted solution later, which will make it finished. This is a ready strip, painted twice, with no visible stumps. One more piece of advice. You can press the strip carefully with the help of an iron, either through a sheet of paper or a piece of cloth. This will make your strip still more smooth and nice looking. Besides, it is easy to twist and shape into the 8. One curve and a similar one here. This strip is neither ironed nor painted with a second layer yet. Anyway, it is rather easy to shape. You iron it and place it under some press, which will make it smoother, like I did with this one. So as a result, I've got such a nice looking 8 to decorate any kind of a vase, which will make a wonderful gift for your mom, granny, teacher, or any other lady. Enjoy wishing your friends and family Happy Women's Day!